This is wild. So this couple lives in an old house. Winter hits and the mice show up. And this is pretty normal. She has a full operation to catch these mice every single year. She has mouse traps hidden everywhere. She checks them twice a day and they're constantly being reloaded. And the bait she uses? Peanut butter. The mice love it. Yeah, I love it. I love it. At first, they only had one peanut butter jar that they used. And for every trap, she would use a clean knife. So she would go in, set the trap, throw this knife into the sink, grab a new knife, take the peanut butter, set the trap, watch that one. So she's never double dipping the mice knife into the peanut butter so it doesn't get contaminated. It's too many dishes, it's too much work, but then she finds this peanut butter jar in the cabinet, the kind that her husband hates. Hey, I found this peanut butter jar in the cabinet. Do you mind if I use it for the mouse traps? Yeah, it's totally fine. She writes in the lid in big letters, mouse only. She puts that on the sides as well. It's impossible to miss. And now she was finally able to double dip the knife in the peanut butter to set the traps. So this peanut butter is now fully contaminated with like mice cooties. Well, weeks later, her husband's eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. He calmly says, you know, I really don't like creamy peanut butter. She freezes. Which jar did you use? That one. The frickin' mouse jar. That's the peanut butter I use to set the mouse traps. It is 100% contaminated. He loses his frickin' mind. I'm losing my frickin' mind right now. That's disgusting. He says she should have hidden this jar. How would he know that it was for the mice? Because I wrote mouse only all over it. She points out that he agreed to this. It was labeled, and he ignored everything. He was angry at her for weeks, but she did nothing wrong. This one is on him. Every single dog in the neighborhood knew this kid, even the mean ones. This kid made it a point. Every afternoon he would walk the neighborhood, stopping at every fence of every house that had a dog. Small dogs, big dogs, mean dogs, dogs with the sign, do not pet. The ones that would bark nonstop, the ones that would continuously growl. He would go to each one. He would crouch, he would talk to them softly, bring them pieces of ham or chicken or turkey. Hey, you're a big mean dog, are you? Hey, here's some turkey. Oh, here's some chicken. Yeah. Oh, here's a toy. Day after day, he was earning the respect of these dogs. Some dogs took weeks, some dogs took months, but eventually every single dog knew him and loved him. To the point where whenever he would walk by, the barking and growling would stop, and they would start wagging their tails. Well, one afternoon, this kid is sitting in his front yard. He's carving a little canoe out of a log with a knife. He's focused, like he's some sort of woodsman. It's very nice. This is good cedar. Then he hears it. Heavy paws, deep growling, the rattling of a collar. And he looks up. Down the street, one of the neighborhood's scariest, meanest dogs got loose. And this dog is sprinting towards a neighbor that's walking alone. The neighbor does not know what to do, so he freezes. This kid knows this is freaking bad. This dog is about to attack this guy. So he tries to stop it. He stands up and he yells, Rufus! The dog skids to a stop, takes his eyes off the neighbor, and looks at the kid. And immediately the dog is now happy. He jogs past the neighbor, straight to the kid. The kid gives him some turkey and takes him by the collar. He then walks the dog back to his house and knocks on the door. Hi, so your dog likes me, but he doesn't like everybody. You gotta get him some training. I saved you big time today. Kid then goes back to his yard, sits down, and finishes carving the canoe out of the wood. Like nothing happened. What an absolute legend. This is insane. So this one school's cafeteria used real silverware, actual metal forks, knives, and metal spoons. And every day after lunch, kids are supposed to take the silverware and put it in these tubs right next to the garbage can so the school can wash them. But over the course of like 5 months, the school began noticing their supply of spoons was dwindling. What in the world is happening to our spoons? The lunch staff thought the kids were accidentally throwing these spoons in the garbage. So they began making announcements and posters.
Attention students, make sure you put the silverware back in the tubs. Don't throw them away.
But it didn't stop. You're missing hundreds more spoons now. Guys, hundreds? Nobody had any clue what the heck was happening because it wasn't a whole school issue. It was one kid. Every day at lunch, he would pocket a spoon or 2 or 3, but never more than 4 a day. Not for a plan or a prank. He was just like collecting them. I like spoons. He kept them inside his locker in a flimsy grocery bag hanging from the hook. Months go by. The bag gets heavier and heavier. The plastic grocery bag stretches thinner and thinner. Then one morning before first period, as the hallway is packed and it's loud, he swings open his locker and the bag finally gives out. It rips straight down the middle and hundreds of metal spoons start pouring out of his locker onto the floor. and the sound is insane, like someone dropped an incredibly heavy toolbox down a flight of stairs. Once they all fall, he just stands there staring at the pile on the hallway floor. It's the end of an era. Within 5 minutes, the entire school knew what had been happening with the spoons. He got into big trouble. The rest of that year, they called him Spoon Kid, and he was kind of a legend. Gotta respect Spoon Kid. When this kid was 5, his parents convinced him that if he didn't do chores or he didn't help them around the house, the lazy monster would get him and he would die. It's true. Just straight up death. So he goes into survival mode. Every day, whenever he has free time, he's sweeping, dusting, reorganizing, folding laundry, and his parents loved it. They're sitting there chilling and their 6-year-old kid is doing the house chores. And this happens for years. Years later, he's 11 now, tells his friends about the lazy monster. Yeah, I can't hang out because I gotta go wash the bathroom, otherwise the lazy monster is gonna get. His friends are like, what? He explains more. Then his friends say, dude, that's actually crazy that you believe that. Parents are tricking you, dude. And it clicked. His entire worldview collapses, and he immediately feels like he wasted years of his life. He storms home and he demands his parents tell him why they did this. And all they could say was, you'll get over it. That's definitely not okay. There was a kid named Ian who was the shortest kid in elementary school. The bullies loved making fun of him. Hey, short stack, what's the weather like down there? Bruh. One night he came home and he sat at the kitchen table, and he talked to his dad. Dad, they won't leave me alone. His dad didn't tell him to ignore it. His dad didn't call the school. Ian, come with me. I want to show you something. They go downstairs, and Ian realizes that this corner of the basement wasn't used for storage. There was a punching bag there, a full boxing setup, gloves, wraps, a speed bag, a heavy bag, like a mini gym in this corner of their basement. Whoa. Son, you're going to train. You're not going to train to hurt them. You train so you don't feel so helpless. So Ian starts practicing every day, day after day, and he's getting pretty good. Then, one day in the cafeteria, Ian's carrying his lunch. He walks past the bully's table and he tries to ignore them. One of the bullies steps up and smacks the tray into his face. Food everywhere, milk dripping down his shirt. Everybody's laughing at him. And then Ian snaps. He puts his tray down calmly, walks straight up to that bully, pops him right in the face. Then another one. Clean, quick punches. The bully's stunned. He falls down. He's like, all right, stop. All right, stop. Ian walks away. He's taken to the office and he's suspended for a whole week. But nobody messed with him ever again. He never had to use his boxing skills ever again. But he knows he has them, and if he has to use them, he will respect. One day, this strict teacher stepped into the classroom supply closet. Class, be quiet. I need to step into the closet really fast. And this closet was pretty tight, really small. So she steps in, and this one kid sneaks up to the closet, slams the door, and locks her in it. Help me. Somebody help me. At first, everybody was silent, and then they just started laughing. And each student in that classroom left, leaving her locked in the supply closet. Now, I get that she's strict, but this is not something to do to your teacher. An hour later, another teacher heard the screams coming from this empty classroom. She goes in there. Oh my God, Mrs. Donahue, I'm dying. She let her out, and the teacher that was locked in there just collapsed, shaking, crying on the floor. After that day, she took 2 weeks off, and every single student in that classroom got into huge trouble. Good. It started with strawberry milk. Cafeteria strawberry milk. Everyone knew this one kid loved it. I freaking love it. So one day, his friend group makes a deal. All right, so for every strawberry milk carton you finish, we'll all pay you $1. $1 per milk? Easy. So kids start sliding in these strawberry milk cartons across the table, and now he's got a bunch in front of him. Guys, this is gonna be awesome. I love strawberry milk. The first carton goes down easy. The second carton, still good. Third carton, confidence is growing. I got this. All right, it's $3 so far, man. By the time lunch is halfway over, there's a crowd forming around him, cheering for him. Come on, man, you got this. That's really impressive. Milk. That's $15 so far, man. The kid keeps drinking. The money keeps stacking. Carton number 18. He stops in his tracks. Silence. And then it happens. A violent, unstoppable stream of neon pink vomit explodes across the lunch table, covering trays, shoes, people's faces. Everyone begins to scatter, running away from this horrible scene. He got to keep the money, but ever since that day, he has not been able to drink milk ever again, and strawberry milk was his favorite. It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. There's this freshman kid at a new school. He's smart, he's quiet, but he's convinced that the only way people will like him is if he gives them something. So he gives everything. Answers for worksheets, extra help on projects. He does other people's homework to make it easier on them. People thank him in the moment and they're grateful, but that's about it. Nobody actually wants to hang out with him. One day after school, he's venting to his mom. People only talk to me when I give them something, and then they never want to hang out with me. He's saying stuff like how he thought he had friends, but it turns out he actually has none. She listens, and then blurts out words without even thinking. Well, maybe they don't hang out with you because you're basically a doormat. A doormat! He goes quiet and nods, and he goes to his room, and he cries himself to sleep. That's sad, dude. In 8th grade, there was a social studies teacher that never gave homework. Like ever. And she was universally loved for it. Then one random Tuesday, she assigns the class homework. And the next day, nobody turned it in. Not one person. And she just detonates. Well, I bet you all did your math homework last night, didn't you? Because everyone respects math. Who cares about social studies? Everyone's like, what the heck is going on? Then, without warning, she steps on a desk, grabs the overhead projector, tears it down, and slams it on the floor. She grabs her keys, walks out the door, and she never returns for the rest of the school year. That's absolute nuts. This school had a zero tolerance rule, and it sounded fair until kids realized what that actually meant. If a fight happened, everybody involved would get the same punishment. Didn't matter who started it, didn't matter who swung first. If you were involved, it was all the same. And on paper, it was supposed to stop the bullying. In reality, it did the opposite. The bullies figured it out fast. They'd corner somebody, shove them, taunt them, and then they would say the same thing. Go ahead, hit me, loser. You're getting in trouble regardless. But you won't. And the victims, they learned the lesson as well. If they stayed still and took the beating, they'd be punished. If they would fight back, they'd also be punished. It was the same outcome. So something changed. Kids who usually froze stopped freezing. If I'm getting in trouble either way, I'm not holding back. Fights stopped becoming these quick one-sided scuffles. They became explosive, unpredictable. One day, a bully was picking on this kid he normally does. Idiot, loser, freak. And the kid that he was bullying went feral, shoved him so hard he fell through the classroom window. One fight was so nuts, it took 5 staff members to break it up. And this was all because of the zero tolerance rules. These kids that were picked on were not holding back anymore. They're like, screw this, I'm not taking it if I'm gonna get in trouble as well. The school administration eventually started to panic. The rule meant to stop violence made it more extreme. They then changed the rule back to what it was before this, but it was never really the same after that. That's nuts. It started stupidly small. He's in his yard and he sees a single crow staring at him. What's up, crow? And he went inside and got a cracker and tossed this one crow a cracker. Well, that's it. That's the moment his life changed forever. Because the next morning, there's 3 crows waiting. Yo, there's 3 of you now. All right, here, 3 crackers. The next morning, there's 9 crows. Oh my God. A full-on crowd of crows waiting for their daily crackers every single morning. And it doesn't just stop there. If he walks to his car, they follow him. If he walks his dog, they're behind him, flying over, hopping on the sidewalk. Every so often, they would drop gifts to him, like a shiny gum wrapper, or a twig, or an apple core, like gifts. Oh, thank you for the Slim Jim. I appreciate it. Then he realizes he's the leader of the crows. Every day they're there. They think of him like their mother. And he can't even take the trash out without crows surrounding him like Secret Service. It's absolutely insane. This teacher's bogus for this. One morning in this class, everyone was supposed to present these dioramas. And these kids had spent a lot of time on these. They're all lined up on tables. Castles, volcanoes, rainforests. The entire room looks like an art fair. Well, then one kid starts messing around, weaving between tables, being kind of reckless, and then, bam, he stumbles onto someone's project. Oh, crunch. The trees snap in half, clay figures all across the floor. This kid's diorama was completely ruined. Dude, what are you doing? Wasn't my fault. The teacher walks over, takes one look and says, maybe you should have put it somewhere secure. Now you're not ready for your presentation. What? Let this be a lesson to you. In life, you must always have a backup plan. And that kid failed the assignment, all because some nutcase slammed into it and broke his project. That is not fair, and that teacher is so messed up for this. So this one dude in this one class was huge. Tall, wide, and the way he would eat food was an operation. I know what I like. He would show up to class with a full row of cookies, 20-something, and he would stack them perfectly on one side of his desk. Then the system began. He would take one bite from the top cookie and put it to the right side of his desk. The next cookie, one bite, then on top of the cookie that's on the right side of his desk. Then the next, down the entire row. Each cookie with exactly one bite out of it, stacked on top of each other. When the whole tower has migrated to the right side, he didn't stop. He would just restart the cycle. A new bite off the top cookie moved to the left side of the desk. Then the other one. A new bite, then stacked on top of the cookie on the left side of the desk. Do you get what I'm saying here? Cookie, bite, stack, cookie, bite, stack. And he keeps restarting this process. Well, 15 minutes of rhythmic biting and stacking later, the entire tower of cookies was just gone. Desk wiped clean, 0 crumbs, like it never happened in the first place. And obviously, everyone in class saw him do this, but it was so strange and so weird that nobody ever said anything to him. That's nuts. Have you ever dissected a pig heart? Well, this one biology class did. Everyone in there, goggles on, little scalpels, and there was an extra supply of pig hearts sitting on one of the counters. Well, one kid, as they were leaving, grabbed a pig heart and put it in his pocket. Then his friend grabbed a pig heart and put it in his pocket. Half the class is stuffing these cold, nasty pig hearts into their pockets, backpacks, and duffel bags. It was absolutely disgusting. Then, after school, behind the field house, a crowd gathers. There's 2 rows of kids, each of them with a pig heart in their hand. Positions, 3, 2, 1, begin. And just like that, this group of kids were playing dodgeball with biology class pig hearts that they were supposed to dissect. And it was, a mess. Pig hearts hitting kids in the face, splattering on the pavement. It was looking like a scene from a bad horror film. Eventually, the school officials came outside, saw what was going on, and each and every one of these kids were suspended for a week. I can honestly say I have never played pig heart dodgeball in my life. Would I? Maybe. He graduated 8th grade. I freaking did it. And his school gave him a free meal card for Cane's. I love Cane's. It was his golden ticket. He guarded it like it was a national treasure. But the thing is, whenever he was driving home or to somewhere with his mom, he would always ask, Mom, I'm hungry. Can I please use my Cane's card now? She would say, no, sweetie, because it's only for one Cane's meal. What about your siblings? They'll feel left out. Well, I can use the card and you can pay for their meals. You think I made the money? So the card just lived in his wallet, unused, waiting. Then one day, he goes into his wallet to look at it. It's gone, and he wasn't the one that used it. So now it's a full-blown investigation. He goes downstairs. Where's my Cane's card? Did somebody use my Cane's card? His little sister said, no. But he said in that moment, he began to smell the sauce. So he looks in the garbage can. Cane's box. You? His little sister cracks instantly. I went to a doctor's appointment today, and Mom took me to Cane's. She used your card. She grabbed it out of your wallet last night. His mom came home, and she didn't really have a reason why she did this. This kid was heartbroken. The betrayal was biblical. He didn't talk to his mom for weeks after that. That's messed up, dude. You ever wonder why schools randomly ban, like, pot Cheetos or Takis? There's always a reason, and at this one school, that reason was, let's call him Marcus, the 7th grade snack kingpin. Marcus had snacks. He was running an entire operation. Backpack loaded like a frickin' vending machine. Takis, Sour Patch, mini Gatorades, all marked up 200%, and people bought them. Business was absolutely booming. And it wasn't just him in this operation. He had runners. Kids in different grades moving products between different classes. He would even bring backup hoodies to school. He would change them throughout the day, so security cameras would think it's different people doing different things. He made enough money in 3 months to buy 2 pairs of brand new Jordans. Never used Venmo, only cash. But here's how he got caught. One of his runners sold Capri Sun to a diabetic kid and told him it was sugar-free, which is absolutely messed up. The kid's blood sugar spiked, the nurses got involved. The school asked him where he got it from, and this kid spilled. The entire operation crumbled. Marcus was suspended for 1 week. School banned all sorts of snacks. After that, it was like this business operation never existed. But if you went into the boys' bathroom, in stall number 3, written in small letters on the door, was the snack prices. You gotta respect the hustle.
When he was 7, he did something so dumb. It was a public swimming pool. Family locker room, wet floors, benches everywhere. This kid's in there and he notices something sitting under a bench. What is it? It's a thumbtack, just sitting there. Nobody was around, nobody was paying attention. Instead of picking this up and throwing it away, he takes it and places it pointy side up right in the middle of the floor. Then he goes away. About 30 minutes pass. Families keep moving in and out of the locker, bare feet, and he starts to think to himself, maybe that was a bad idea. Maybe somebody could get hurt. So he goes back in, but he's way too late. Oh no. Oh, Mom, I'm bleeding. A kid had stepped right on it, and his foot was bleeding. Oh my God, what a horrible person would do something like this. The kid never said a word. He just stood there, panicking internally. You'll be okay, son. Whoever did this is a complete and utter idiot. I mean, yeah, that's pretty messed up.
Secret Santa Day. The rule, you pick a name, you don't say the name you picked. Teacher's walking around with a basket. Everyone picks a name. All right, pick and shh. Pick and shh. Good. Pick and shh. After everybody picked, this one girl asked another girl, who'd you get? And for some reason, this girl completely forgets the whole point of this. And she says, I picked Tyler. And this is where this all just crumbles. Tyler's head shoots up. What? Kayla's my Secret Santa? Dude, I'm cooked. She's gonna give me a horrible gift. Well, who do you have? I got Billy. Nice. At this point, the whole system collapses. Everyone's telling each other who they got. And then the teacher got mad, and then everyone else got mad, and they blamed it on the original girl, Kayla, who said she had Tyler. So if it wasn't for her, this might have gone smoothly. But it didn't. Hey, happy holidays. This would happen across the school every single day. Different classrooms, different floors, but every day at exactly 12:17 p.m. Can I use the bathroom? 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 Nothing suspicious. Not really a pattern that these teachers could put together very easily because, like I said, they were each in a different classroom. But here's what nobody knew. At the far end of the school, in the quiet bathroom nobody ever uses, these kids would go and run full-blown underground Beyblade battles. Every day after they released from the classroom, they would sprint to this bathroom. And when they would get there, they would let it frickin' rip. They had a few of those classic plastic Beyblade arenas, and they were just going to town. They would put money on it as well. Come on, I got 20 bucks on this. You're totally gonna lose, bro. Milk! Doesn't that sound frickin' awesome? They had a blast. I would love this. Well, more and more people were kind of told about this, and more students began joining. And eventually, it became this kind of thing. They were caught and shut down forever. But nobody forgot about that. The random bathroom Beyblade battles at 12:17 p.m. every day. That's awesome. In 8th grade, this art teacher had a locked cabinet in the back of the room. It was kind of mysterious. She never talked about it, but once a week, she would go back there, unlock it, take out a small handful of things, and walk away. Kids would whisper, wondering what's inside. Is it expensive paints? Ancient artifacts? Animals? Well, one semester, this student named Riley was picked to stay after school one day to help clean some stuff up. The teacher leaves the room for 5 minutes, and that cabinet key is just sitting there on the desk. So he opens it slow and carefully.
Opening it slow and carefully.
Inside were stacks and stacks of goldfish cracker boxes. No art supplies, no ancient masterpieces, just enough frickin' goldfish crackers to feed a small country. When the teacher comes back in, Riley asks, "Cabinet goldfish! Why?" "Oh, it's my favorite snack. I take one handful per class.
And I just munch on them. I love them."
It was just her own personal snack cabinet. Who would have thought? The first week of school, the vending machines in the hallway were out of order, but one student realized that they weren't broken. The school just wasn't letting anybody use them. "Sorry kids, they're fixing them next month. No snacks." "No snacks? Oh man, But one day, this junior named Derek saw one of the janitors unlock the machine with this tiny round key. Well, he recognized this silver key. It was the same kind of key his dad used for his padlocks at work. Well, that night, Derek dug through the junk drawers at his house, looking for these keys, and he found about 5 of them. Yes. The next day, during a passing period, he went to the vending machines. He put the first key in, and it unlocked. Apparently, it was the most basic of these keys, and it worked. He opened it up just enough to grab one snack and put it in his backpack. Well, this gave him a brilliant idea. By the end of the week, he had gone into that vending machine multiple times and only took out the most popular, most tasty snacks. And because these vending machines had been broken for so long, nobody really noticed, and there weren't any cameras in the hallway. Well, he would take these popular snacks and he would sell them for double the price of what the vending machine would have sold them for. Yo, bro, you always have the best snacks. Where do you get them? Don't worry about it, Chief. Don't worry about it. By the time the school fixed the vending machines, Derek had made a good chunk of change, and nobody ever realized that those snacks were taken. Now that is crazy, and you gotta respect the hustle. This school sold popcorn every Friday. Plain, no butter, no seasoning, just small, sad bags for $1. Well, one day, this kid Tyler shows up with a frickin' plan. He brings a small lunchbox to lunch, and inside, dozens of mini popcorn seasoning shakers. Ranch, nacho cheese, cinnamon sugar, literally anything. Hey, yo, can I use that, man? Totally, homie. $0.25 per shake. Now, at first, people thought this was kind of ridiculous. $0.25 for one shake of popcorn seasoning? But once people started trying it, it was game frickin' over. He would stand on top of the lunch tables, shaking seasonings into people's popcorn bags while kids are sliding and throwing him quarters. It was kind of bussin'. And Tyler wouldn't just stop there. If somebody was broke, he would say, I season it for you now, you bring me $0.25 tomorrow. Or else, I'm writing your name down, I don't forget. By the end of the month, all the popcorn was seasoned to perfection thanks to Tyler. One day, Tyler's counting out $20 in quarters when the principal comes up to him and says, We do not run seasoning businesses in this lunchroom. You're done. And he was shut down. You gotta respect the hustle, though. Okay, listen to this. At this school, the water bottles in the cafeteria were sold for $3, but they were small and always warm. The only other option was the water fountains in the hallways, and those were absolutely disgusting.
Oh my god, it's green. That's disgusting.
The spouts were green, the water came out warm, and every time it tasted like pennies. That's when this dude named Ryan showed up with a plan. One day, he walks into school with a giant cooler bag and 2 of those big water jugs that were used to refill bottles.
Cold water, 50 cents to fill your bottle.
Well, turns out most kids didn't have a water bottle. So what Ryan did was he stopped charging people to fill their waters and instead sold reusable water bottles himself for $3 each. The second you bought a water bottle, you were in the system and you could get your water filled. Pretty soon, Ryan set up at lunch with 4 water jugs in this giant cooler bag, and he's refilling everybody's water bottle. Kids, teachers, everybody. People were skipping the nasty water fountains and going straight for Ryan's ice-cold filtered water. And months later, by the time the school had actually replaced the water fountains with nicer ones, Ryan had made $400. And the entire school was carrying around the water bottles that he sold. What a genius. You gotta respect the hustle. This Spanish teacher had a rule. If you forget your pencil, you would have to borrow one from her supply cup and pay her back with a brand new one the next day. But she would always make sure to embarrass you because of it. Well, look who's unprepared again today. Little baby Kyle boy. All right, here, you can have a pencil, but bring me back a new one. Okay? What's wrong with you? Well, this kid named Marcus shows up to school one day with a bag full of sharpened, brand new pencils. And he would sell them. One pencil, 50 cents. No need to pay the teacher back with a brand new pencil the next day, and no public shaming. So that's kind of a win. Pretty soon, it's not just the Spanish class he is selling to. He made little flyers and he passed them around the school. And pretty soon, people were texting him, ordering pencils. Whenever they forgot one, he was the guy they would go to. Just 50 cents. Well, it got popular. Business was booming. So he upped his game a little bit. He had a premium package with the highest quality mechanical pencils you could imagine. He bought them in bulk, so they were pretty cheap, and he would charge $2 per mechanical pencil, and people were buying those as well. He was selling out every time. Eventually, Marcus had an incredibly loyal customer base and a bunch of single dollar bills in a shoebox under his bed. You gotta respect Marcus, and you gotta respect the hustle. One day in history class, this teacher just frickin' lost it. He'd been on edge all week about kids' backpacks being in the aisles. He kept tripping over them. If I see one more backpack sticking out, we're gonna have a frickin' problem. Well, the next day, he sees one. He stops teaching and says this. All right, every one of you, backpacks in front of my desk right now. People are confused, but they start dragging him up and leaving their backpacks in front of his desk. Then he stands up, goes to the first backpack, unzips it, and then dumps the entire thing on the floor. Books, homework, snacks all fall out into this one messy pile. Yo, dude, that's my stuff. What are you doing? Shut your mouth. And one by one, he goes down the line, dumping out everybody's stuff into the same pile. Hey, what are you doing? You think I'm kidding? You think this is some frickin' joke? By the end, there's a mountain of student stuff covering half the classroom floor. Some kid takes a picture. Parents start calling the school before the day's even over. And the next morning, there's a substitute in his seat. Apparently, that was the last straw. And that teacher was fired. Hey, that's kinda messed up. The locker was jammed. 3 different kids tried the combo. It wasn't working. A teacher comes up, tries to figure it out, nothing. That's when one sophomore stands there, looks, and says, "Step aside." He doesn't even glance at the paper that has the combo on it. He just stares at the lock for a second, pulls out a paper clip, and goes to town. Boom. First try, it opens. Oh my god, finally, thank you. That was actually awesome, dude. Now, this was the first day of school, so the hallways were hectic. Everyone trying to get in their lockers. There's books, papers, book bags everywhere. Well, he just turns around and says, "Anybody else?" 5 minutes later, he's walking the halls like some kind of locksmithing expert. He's opening jammed lockers left and right, even helping teachers open their cabinets. Jammed? There you go. Jammed? There you go. He quickly became the locker guy. Turns out his older brother and his dad had their own locksmithing company, so he literally grew up opening locks. No rules broken, no locks damaged, just a nice guy helping people out. And you gotta respect it. One Saturday morning, this kid's at a grocery store with his mom. They shop a bit, and now they're in the cashier line. "Oh, sweetie, I forgot to get a gallon of milk. Can you go get one for me, please?" "Sure, Mom." It's a simple job, so he goes, he gets the milk, and he's jogging back to the cashier. Well, right when he gets there, he trips, the jug falls out of his hand, and the milk spills everywhere. Under carts, onto shoes, people are so mad, he has no idea how to respond to this. This kid has anxiety. So what he does is he gets down on all fours, and he tries to scoop it up. But why would that work? He has nowhere to put it. Then this kid freaks out, and he tries to lick it off the floor like he's a freaking house cat. His mom was so stunned she couldn't even speak. Finally, this old guy came over. He had a mop. "Kid, move. I'll clean the milk." Mom was so embarrassed she didn't even buy anything. She left all of her items at the belt, and she left the store with her kid. That's wild. Genius. So this kid had leftover candy from Halloween. Suckers, sweets, stuff like that. And at first he brought a little bag to school to share with his friends. But then other kids started asking, "Yo, let me get a little taste. Do you have that ding dong?" More and more kids started asking him for his candy or his treats. So he flips a switch and turned it into a business. He calls it the 25-cent store. Every item's a quarter. Well, he makes about $50 in a week. So he reinvests this money. He goes to the dollar store. He buys bags and bags of candy and brings it back to school. He raises prices and he keeps selling. All right, brand new inventory, but this time it's 75 cents each. But it's worth it, I promise. And still, he sells out. From that batch, he ends up making $144. And he's not done. He still has more product. And he plans to invest this money. But then a teacher comes up to him. "Excuse me, why are kids handing you quarters?" Hi. That's what I thought. That teacher shut him down. It was over. The thing is, it was a harmless business, and people actually liked the service. Teachers just don't like kids to succeed these days, huh? Warfare at the winter dance. At this one school, there was this kid named Evan. Yo, quiet, organized, he got straight A's. And this year, he finally had this big job. He was gonna plan the entire winter dance. And this guy had ideas. Lighting cues, playlist drafts, themed decorations. He had a binder filled with these ideas. He presents his ideas to the student government. So, what do you think? And this one girl named Kelsey grabs the binder, flips through it, and goes, yeah, no. This is ugly. Then she throws it straight into the trash can. You're done. I'll be taking it from here. And she does. She takes over everything. And Evan gets pushed to the side like an unpaid intern. He's very upset. The only thing Evan was allowed to do was run the technical side of things that night. And that included the fog machines. Fog machines that basically run on a water-based formula. Fog machines sit on the table, unguarded. So Evan shows up to the dance. Second it starts, he goes by the fog machines. He opens all of the tanks, and he dumps a full bottle of pure peppermint extract into each of the fog machine tanks. The second the lights go down, he turns every fog machine to max. Dancing starts, the DJ's playing the tunes, the fog was beginning to thicken, and before you know it, the gym turns into a pure peppermint hurricane. My eyes! Kids coughing, eyes burning, teachers screaming. The principal's like, chemical leak! Everyone get out! The fire alarm gets pulled, the dance evacuates. And now half the school is standing outside in the freezing cold. Who did this? This was my dance. Evan, crazy enough, didn't try to hide it. Yeah, but it was my dance first. Evan wasn't suspended, he was expelled. When the janitors cleaned the gym the next day, the peppermint was still so strong, they all had to wear goggles. And the smell lingered in that gym for literal years. That is insane. The school made an announcement.
Redesign the school logo and turn it in. The winner's logo gets to be the official logo.
Every art kid in the school goes feral. People busted out their iPads, sketchbooks. They're working really hard on trying to create this new school logo. But then there's Evan, Shibby. Evan doesn't care. His friend dared him to make something and turn it in. So Evan designs the dumbest thing that he could think of. A circle with a weird looking bird inside of it that looks like it's mid-sneeze. That's so dumb. Here, he submits it. A week later, the principal gets on the school intercom. We have chosen our new school logo. Everyone report to the gym. Everyone goes to the gym. Everyone's eager to see whose logo made it. They did a countdown. 3, 2, 1. And then they projected it. It's Evan's frickin' doodle. The bird, the circle, the sneeze. The whole gym goes dead silent. And then everybody erupts. Oh, Bro's a genius. Yo, Evan cooked. Make him class president. Teachers are clapping. They print it out on shirts. It's being sold at the sports games. It's on the website. It's on the gym floor. This logo is everywhere. And Evan becomes an absolute frickin' legend. I'm a frickin' legend. This kid ran a pop-up shop in his school. Not every day, not on a schedule, just randomly. One week he would show up with bags of candy. Next week he would have a pair of shoes he outgrew and some Pokemon cards. One week he had a Bluetooth speaker, 2 Jimmy John subs he didn't eat that he got the day before, a Labubu, a brand new pencil case, and king-size Kit Kat bars. And whenever he decided, today's the day, his friends knew the drill. Their job was to take the printed out sheets and to paste them all around the school. These posters would say stuff like, pop-up store, band hallway, 12:15 p.m. No items, no prices, it's just a mystery, so people would show up, and they would wonder what he had that day. He'd open his backpack, he would lay everything out on the floor in front of him, like a frickin' street vendor, and he would just begin selling these things. Candy gone, shoes sold, Labubus flying off the shelf. When the inventory ran out, he would pack up and go back to class or something. He would tear the posters down, and he would disappear until the next random day that he felt like doing this. He made $350 in 3 weeks, until the principal finally connected the dots, saw the poster one day, went to the meeting spot, and shut this all down for good. But hey, you gotta respect the hustle. This kid finds a wallet while he's walking into school, right there in the grass. Yo, wallet. He opens it. $500 in cash. Crisp. It's taunting him. His brain goes into panic mode. I want it. I mean, of course I want it. But it's not right. What do I do? I'll hold on to it for now. I'll decide later. So he puts the money back inside the wallet, he puts the wallet into his backpack, and he spends the next 2 periods sweating like he's hiding a frickin' body. In third period, there's a substitute. I will be your sub today. He says something. I'm having a rough day, guys. I lost my wallet before school this morning, so let's just get through class. Kyle's soul leaves his body.
He's thinking to himself, I could just keep it. He'll never know I have it. But he knows it's wrong. And then he thinks, wait, if I turn it in, he might be so happy he'll give me some of the money. Yeah, that's probably the better idea, right? Hey, I found this outside school today. Pretty sure it's yours. The sub doesn't really do anything. He snatches that wallet out of his hands. Go take your seat. Okay. And that was that. He didn't get any money, but at least he did the right thing, right?
So this kid gets invited to a birthday party by accident. Oh boy. Oh nice, I'm invited. He has the same name as the kid who was supposed to be invited. So on the day of the party, he shows up to the door holding a gift. Oh, hey, you're not the one we were supposed to invite. Oh, honey, we can just let him stay, right? No, I think he should probably leave. It's okay, I'll go. Right as he turns away and was about to leave, he hears a voice from the hallway. There's a problem. This dude steps out of the bathroom. He's pale. The toilet's clogged, and it's clogged bad. The dad's like, no, don't worry, I'll handle it. Just give me a minute or two. No, like, the water's rising and it won't stop. At this point, the kids and the parents are swarming the hallway. They're watching this water rise slowly, about to overflow. Parents are panicking, kids are screaming. The dad rushes in and he tries plunging. It's not working. He flushes again. Horrible idea. Water now begins to spill over. Oh my God, get the towels. Now the shy kid that was invited on accident watches all this happen, and then he says, everybody stop, give me a minute. He goes to the kitchen, he grabs a large spoon, like this super long ladle. He takes the plunger from the dad, he goes into the bathroom and he shuts the door. He was in there for 5 minutes. Everyone's sitting outside waiting, it's completely silent. All you hear is swishing and plunging. What's happening? Milk! After 5 minutes, he steps out, calm, completely unfazed. We're good, toilet's fine, everything's settled, and I cleaned the floor as well. Hold on, let me see. Wow, the dad tests the toilet. It works, and it's spotless in here. And everyone starts cheering. The kid's then like, all right, I guess I'll go now. No, you're staying. You're a freaking legend. The kid stayed and they had a great time. He made a lot of new friends that day, and he really did leave a legend.
তোমার এই অবস্থা কেলা?
আসলে আব্বা, ও আব্বা, আব্বা
আইতাছি।
আচ্ছা, যা হবার হয়েছে বুঝছো, সারাদিন যে ধকলটা গেছে গা। মন্টু, হ্যাঁ মন্টু, হ্যাঁ মন্টু, আমি তো অনাথ হয়ে গেছি গে একেবারে। মনে করে আমার বাপে আমারে, এটা কেমন বাট পারি? হ্যাঁ, তোমার আব্বা না খুব কান্দানি, আমারে কইছিল কাশি খাওয়া।
সকাল সকাল তুমি আয়া পড়ছো, চিল্লা কেমতে?
কি হয়েছে? হ্যাঁ, আরো থেকে অনেক পর দেখে দেখতেছি ফোনের পিছে লাগা রইছো।
বাজান, তোরা আর একটা বুদ্ধি দিতাছি।
কি হয়েছে বাবার? কি
আগে সব কথা হই না লই, তারপর তুই খালাসে যাবি। কবু মা
গেটে ডোরা বাইর করে দিছিলাম।
ল তোর গাড়ি বুঝকা ল। সারা জিন্দেগি আমগো খানদানের সবতে
মন্টু, হ্যাঁ মন্টু, হ্যাঁ মন্টু, আমি তো অনাথ হয়ে গেছি গে একেবারে। মনে করে আমার বাপে আমারে, এটা কেমন বাট পারি? হ্যাঁ, তোমার আব্বা না খুব কান্দানি, আমারে কইছিল কাশি খাওয়া।
সকাল সকাল তুমি আয়া পড়ছো, চিল্লা কেমতে?
কি হয়েছে? হ্যাঁ, আরো থেকে অনেক পর দেখে দেখতেছি ফোনের পিছে লাগা রইছো।
বাজান, তোরা আর একটা বুদ্ধি দিতাছি।
কি হয়েছে বাবার? কি
তুমি যদি একটা মাস পরে এটা তাহলে দেখতে আমার আব্বাই আনাম খাসিটা পাকে তোমার সামনে রেখা দিত।
খানদান নাকি খানদান গো চিনা লাগে নাকি? চোখ বন্ধ করে হারবার পাচ্ছি আয়া পড়ছি।
দরকার আছে, দরকার স্যার। আমি কি ফোনে কথা কই নাকি? এই এটা খায় কি করতাছো? যাও না, নিচে যাও।
কি হয়েছে? এই সব আমি পারুম না, আমার দরকার হলে ঘর।
আচ্ছা, যা হবার হয়েছে বুঝছো।
সারাদিন যে ধকলটা গেছে গা, নিচে ঘুমা।
আজ নামনের বাসুর ভাই আপনি
আপনার ঘরে
তুমি তো আমার পিলার চমকাই দিচ্ছ বাবা।
কি যে কন্যা আব্বা, মাত্র তো আসমানের চাঁদ লাগো।
কিন্তু তুমি তো বিয়ার পর দিনই আইয়া হাজির, তো রসনটা একটু চেঞ্জ হয়েছে আর কি।
আসমানের চাঁদ লয়া এরকম বাসর ঘরে আহে, তখন রাজা বাচ্চা গোলা হান।
তুমি এই পোশাক কখনই চেঞ্জ করে আইবা, নালে কইলাম আমি তোমার আমার লগে থাকতে দিব না। আইসা আলগা খানদানি রেওয়াজ দেখে।
তোমার কত বড় সাহস, তুমি আমার মাথায় বাড়ি দিবা? এই আমি কি করছি? বাজান কি এইটা কাম করছে নি? আপনার মতো হীরার টুকরা একটা পোলারে লাথি দিয়ে বাইর করে দিচ্ছে।
দিমু একটা ঠুয়া, আমি পারুম না। এই বেটা, এই আমগো খানদানে পূর্বপুরুষেরা
তো কি টিপে করলা?
লাগলে হেরাও টিপা দিমু। তুমি বরং আমার হাতটা ব্যথা করতেছে, হাতটা টিপা দাও।
আরে এখানে হান্দাবার লাগছস কে? একটু ওদিকে নে না। তোমার বিছানা আমি ভিজায়া দিছি গা।
এটা তুমি কি করছো?
কি করছি, ঘুমাইবা না?
তোমার গো পূর্বপুরুষের মাথায় কি সমস্যা ছিল আব্বা?
আবার নাটকের পর কয় কি শুনছো? ওই বেটা
আব্বা জান, আপনার পোলারে এখন জিগান তো রুটি গরম না ঠান্ডা?
বাপ রে বাপ, শুনছো নি? একেবারে ডর দেয় তো বলে খুশি খুশি করে কাটতো হয়েছে। আপনার ডর আপনার পকেটে থুয়া দেন।
খানদানটা আমার কত উচ্চা দেখতে হইব না?
দেখতেছি তো, উঁচা ভি আর লম্বা ভি।